Welcome to The Soul's Journey with your host, Tracy Escobar. The Soul's Journey tells the story of everyday people who overcome life's toughest lessons and want to use their voice to share and give hope to others walking a similar path. These are stories of hope, stories of healing, stories of empowerment. So now, please welcome the host of The Soul's Journey, Tracy Escobar.
Hey, welcome back to The Soul's Journey. I am your host, psychic medium Tracy Escobar. So I am so excited. Today's show. It's going to be a little bit of an emotional one. So get ready, get your tissues ready. We talk about hard things on this show, and we talk about life's journeys and life's lessons and kind of like the things that are thrown at us during this journey on earth as we make our way learning and growing. And sometimes those lessons can be really, really difficult, and they can come on at a really young age. Sometimes it happens later on in life, but I just don't think we can ever get scathed without experiencing some kind of trauma. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about child loss. Well, it's infant loss is probably, we're going to zone in maybe more on infant loss. And I have my niece on the show today, so I'm really excited, and it really touches me personally that she strong enough to come on here and talk about it. So just want everybody to send warm, precious, beautiful vibes to the computer and hold space for her. This is probably the first time she's telling her story in a public setting, and it's only coming up on a year since her journey started. And I don't want to go into it because I really want her to tell her side of the story and what happened. So without further ado, everybody, welcome my beautiful niece, Desiree Diaz. Come on the show.
Hi, how are you?
I am so good, and I'm so glad to have you on. It's been forever since I've talked to you, since I've seen you. So this show's going to be really raw because I haven't even asked you of these questions. So all this is kind of raw and new, and thank you for being brave enough to come on the show and to talk about it. Yeah.
Yes, thank you for having me. I would love to share my experience and just bring some awareness and maybe hope to some people who might be going through the same thing or something similar. But I know we're all going through stuff. So
like everybody goes through some of it. Not everybody goes through what you've been through at the age of 23. So very, very young. So first, I'm going to just start it off with the very, very beginning. So my niece joined the military. She had a military career, which is super, super great. And then she met a boy. Yes, she met a boy.
Yeah.
She ended up getting pregnant. And the crazy thing about her story is she got pregnant with triplets. Now, this wasn't any fraternity issues, not fertility issues, nothing like that. This was all natural.
No. Yep, all natural. And what's funny is that I was even taking some contraceptives. I was taking Plan B. I'm gonna be honest. I was I wasn't on birth control, so I was just trying to stay safe, and I was using condoms. So I was safe, and I just happened to get pregnant. I was in the Army. I was having fun in the Army, and one thing led to another, and I ended up being pregnant with triplets. And
triplets. How did you feel when you found out triplets? That's crazy.
I was so just shocked. I was speechless. I was like, first off, like, well, why me? That was the first thing that kind of went in my head, was like, why me? Like
we don't have multiples in our family. I know.
Exactly. That's why, because we don't have that gene or that genetic trait in our family. So just to think that me, out of anyone in our family, and triplets is it was a spontaneous triplet pregnancy. So it was so rare for it to happen.
What does that mean, spontaneous triplet pregnancy? Can you explain?
It kind of just means that, so like when the egg went into the uterus, it was a single egg, and it just spontaneously split into 3.
Really?
Yeah.
See, that's a miracle in itself, right?
It is, and it's almost like, everything kind of happens for a reason. I feel like it was God, and I honestly believe it.
I do too, especially knowing that. I didn't know that that was like, that's just a miracle. So just to me, I just believe in, my background, where, I've
Mhm.
tried to instill spirituality in you guys too. So I think you guys know where I
Yeah.
stand with that. But
Yeah.
everything happens for a reason and there's no coincidences. I just
Yeah.
feel like, it's just the craziest thing. I want to take you back to, let's say, the week before everything started happening. So were you feeling
Mhm.
bad? Was it just a regular doctor's appointment? Just take me back to the very, very
Yeah.
beginning.
So
How many
I
weeks
was
were you?
27. I was 27 weeks pregnant, and everything was going really good. So in the beginning, or kind of earlier on in my pregnancy, we were having issues with baby B, and his name is Frodo.
Okay.
And he was just a lot smaller than the other two, and was just developing a lot, not as fast as the other two. So we were having issues with that. But I was seeing two doctors. I was seeing a specialty doctor and a regular OBGYN. And so the specialty doctor was giving me just a plan of how much protein and how much I should be eating and just the whole thing. And we're just going to keep monitoring these babies every week. And every week that went by, things kept getting better and things were progressing, and I was following the plan he gave me. I was doing everything right.
Mm.
I really was. And I'm
It's okay,
sorry,
Mama.
but
It's okay. Don't worry. Take it slow.
um yeah, so I was really doing everything the doctors told me to do. And around 27 weeks pregnant, I go
Oh.
in to my special, so it was a Thursday. I go into my specialty doctor's appointment, and everything looked great. Everything was perfect. And like in the specialty appointment, we really go in depth with we look at everything. We look at the heart, the brain, the all the blood movement, how everything's circulating. We really go into depth with these ultrasounds. So that day everything looked good, and they even got a video of all their hearts beating simultaneously together in one video, and it was really beautiful. And I have it in my phone and everything. But so everything was fine. It was just a normal day. And I went home. I did a standard, I went and ate and I watched TV and I relaxed and I was fine. And I knew I had another appointment in the morning to see the regular OBGYN. So I went to sleep, woke up the next morning. But what's funny is that when I woke up, I kind of had a feeling that I was just anxious or something. Like something was off. You know
You
how
could
you
feel
have
it. Hmm.
that internal gut feeling that something's not right, but I kind of ignored it. I didn't want to
Yeah.
just stress out because I'm the one taking myself to these appointments. I'm driving from Fort Campbell to Nashville. It's like an hour drive, so I'm doing that by myself, pregnant with triplets, and I'm doing a
Oh,
lot of this stuff alone. And
alone. Yeah.
yeah, so I was trying not to stress about anything. Anything that caused me stress is out of the door. Like I
Okay.
would not deal with
Yeah.
stress. And
You were
so
you were
I was
really trying
just
to do all the right things. Yeah.
I was really trying to do all the right things. And I go to this appointment, and she's talking to me, she's asking me questions. And this is the doctor that's going to deliver my babies. So she's asking me all these questions: how I'm doing, how am I feeling, and everything's going good. How did the appointment yesterday go? And I told
Mm.
her how it went, and she kind of just looks at me and is like, I kind of want to take a look at the babies myself. I kind of just want to see their heartbeats myself. And mind you, she normally doesn't look at the babies because she trusts that we're
The
doing
other
an in-depth,
doctor. Yeah.
yeah, ultrasound with the other doctors. So it
Okay.
was kind of like, it was kind of ironic that she wanted to look at the babies that
Yeah.
day. And when she did, she goes and she looks at baby A, which is Remy, and he's
Okay.
fine, he's good. She looks at baby B, and he's fine. And then their hearts are beating, they're good. And then baby
Okay.
C, we didn't see any movement. We didn't see anything. It was almost like you could see the heart. in the chamber, but we didn't know if it was the heart because there was no movement, there was no beating, and she couldn't. There was no like heart beating in the monitor. We couldn't detect anything. So she was like, "Are you sure you said everything was okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, everything was perfect yesterday." And she kind of just keeps digging, takes a long, really good look at it, calls someone else in, and they take a look at it, and there's no heartbeat. He's
No
gone.
heartbeat.
Like, yeah,
And that was
real
baby
awesome.
C. And what did you name baby
C.
C? What
I
did you
named
name
him
him?
Juno.
Okay, so
Juno.
Juno had already passed in the utero. In utero.
Mhm. Mhm.
From one day to the next, nothing happened. Just
Just
it's like a
yeah,
series of
just
events started kicking off.
it
Yeah.
was just like overnight. Overnight things just kind of went downhill, and the next, she immediately told me, tomorrow you need to come to the emergency room and they need to give you steroid shots and you need to tell them what happened today. And I was just thinking, why not go to the emergency room tonight?
Now. Yeah, now. Go
So
now.
yeah, so I was just, whatever. I went home and did what she said. Went in the next day. They gave me shots, and then I told the lady what had happened, and then we both kind of were like, we need to monitor the babies. Like, we should probably monitor them, see if they're doing okay, because that's a traumatic thing happening down there if a baby passes away, right?
Yeah. That's
So
awful.
yeah, and I spent 2 days like having the babies monitored and ultrasound at in the emergency room, and then just they were about to send me home, and then for some reason, I don't know what happened, but then they started like seeing like things just kind of going crazy with the blood flow to like the brain, and like
Okay.
with Remy, they saw it in baby A. There's like abnormal blood flowing to the brain, and it's not going to the brain or something, like no oxygen or something to the brain. And so that was just like they caught it, and they were just like, okay, we need to do an emergency C-section. And
At 27 weeks. At 27
mhm.
weeks?
It was
Wow.
by that time it hit 28 weeks. So
You were
it was
28.
mhm.
What were you thinking? I mean, you're young, you're going through all this. Like, what was were you scared? What were you feeling?
I was terrified. I was
Okay.
terrified because I was alone. I was all alone in my hospital room. I had no family. The guy I was, that had the baby's father, we were not on good terms. We weren't even together, It was just, I don't know. It was just kind of a weird situation, but I really was like, I had to go through a lot of things alone, and I'm just thankful that the next day my mom was able
Came
to
up.
just show up. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
yeah,
came up
I remember that.
in a heartbeat. Mhm.
Yeah, so that you wouldn't be alone anymore. I'm sure that that's got to be
Mhm.
number one, it's terrifying, but number two, to be young and
Yeah.
going through it is your very first pregnancy, and then it's
Yeah.
traumatic, and then it's traumatic.
It's traumatic, and I didn't know how to feel because at the same time, like, I just lost a baby. So at that same time, I was feeling kind of disconnected because I felt like something was like missing, and I had already
Yeah,
felt that morning. I felt something was wrong.
you felt it. Yeah, that's like that whole mother instinct kicked in, and you just knew something was
Mhm.
just not on. Were you afraid for the other babies at this point, or you thought they were going to be okay? Where was your mind
I
at
was
this point?
afraid.
You were
At this
afraid.
point, I was just like, I really hope they make it. I hope somebody makes it because I knew deep down that um I knew Frodo wasn't gonna make it because he was already having issues. It was already a discussion prior that Frodo might not make it, but Juno and Remy, if we keep this pregnancy going as long as we can, that they have the potential to survive this pregnancy. I knew that Frodo wasn't gonna make it, but
You
I
knew,
had
yeah.
hope. I still had hope,
You still had
but
hope, right? We had hope.
mhm.
So when Juno passed away, that was just total unexpected.
It was just yeah, like
Okay.
he, I was just grateful that he was alive for how long he survived for, because he survived for about 5 to 7 hours, maybe.
Is that
I can't. It's so cloudy, but it
cloudy?
was about, yeah, it was about,
Okay.
because they had me on so many medication when I after that C-section. I was
I'm
like,
sure.
I
Yeah.
really felt like I just got sucked in a black hole or something. Like it,
Yeah.
reality didn't seem real to me.
Yeah.
But
I bet you were like numb and kind of in a fog. It's kind of,
exactly.
I'm like tapping into you a little bit. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like in
Mhm.
a fog. And it's kind of like, I don't believe this is all happening, but it's happening, but I don't believe it. Am I in a dream? Am I like, it just feels unreal, right?
Exact. Uh-huh.
Like,
That's
yeah.
exactly how it felt. And then I just felt, it's almost like I didn't know how to feel. I didn't know, because
Mhm.
after the C-section, I was happy that my baby Remy survived, and they had him survive. They had him good and on life support in the incubator, and I was happy, but then I was sad. So it was just like
A
I
really
didn't
mix
know
of
how to feel.
emotions. Yeah. All right,
Yeah.
we're gonna stop. We're gonna hold right there, Mama, and we're gonna go to a
Mhm.
quick break, give you a chance to
Okay.
take a deep breath, and then we're gonna come
Okay.
back. And I want to talk about Frodo passing, right, and how you felt
Okay.
about that. So you're watching Bull Brave TV, The Soul's Journey. We'll be right back after this.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. Rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies. Find settings that allow them to be the most productive and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
And welcome back to Bull Brave TV Network, and you're watching The Soul's Journey, and we have Desiree Diaz today as my guest, and it's just a really hard topic with infant loss, and she's telling us her story of having triplets and losing two of them. And so when we left off at the last segment, we were talking about Juno passing in utero, right? And so we went into an emergency
Mhm.
C-section, right? And then all the
Mhm.
babies were born at that time, right?
Yes.
So tell me
Mhm.
how the other two were doing once they were born.
So, they had to like pump air in both of my baby's lungs to like resuscitate them, kind of, to keep the air going through them until they could get them on a ventilator. And once
Mhm.
they got Remy on a ventilator, he was good.
Okay,
He was stable. And
stable. Okay.
they could not get Juno on a ventilator. His lungs were so underdeveloped and so premature. They were just not, it wasn't taking in oxygen, and he just couldn't make it. But we had expected it to happen. We knew he was how underdeveloped he was, and it is just unfortunate. But I'm grateful that he stayed alive as long as he did, because I got to hold him and he looked into my eyes, and while he was passing away, and I got to I got to see him, and he got to see me for the last
okay.
moment of his life, and he got to at least feel my love. So
Yeah, he did. He got to feel all that love being poured into him. Yeah.
yeah,
I'm sorry, Mama.
yeah,
It's tough to be your young age and losing two babies, right? Two.
yeah.
Whew. Deep breath. How have you been? All right, let me take you back to the hospital still because we're still there, right? And so you just lost two babies,
Yeah.
and now you have Remy. Are you worried that Remy's going to
Mhm.
pass too, right? Are we worried what's happening to
Mhm.
Remy?
Oh yeah.
So it's like
Oh
weird
yeah.
because your
Because
feelings, how can you grieve and be happy at the same time? Like it's so contradicting.
it is. How can you have hope but everything around you is crushing, and
Crushing.
like,
Yeah.
you know, it's like really I was just praying the whole time. I was praying the whole time. I was
Oh, yeah.
praying, and I didn't know who I was praying to at the time. I know
Mhm.
now, but it's like at the time I just like I was just like, please help me, please help me, please help my babies, please
Yeah.
somebody. You know, I
Yeah.
was just praying.
What was
I was
your,
praying every day.
that brings up a really good point just to tell people what our spiritual background was. Like we weren't raised in church, right?
Mhm.
Right.
So I went to church a few times as a kid and got baptized because I was raised with my grandparents at a certain
Mhm.
time in my
Point.
life. They
Mhm.
took me to church and stuff, and but I didn't understand it. I didn't understand
Okay.
anything. I had a lot of
Yeah.
questions. I had, you know, what Christians would say, lack of faith or lack of, you know, I don't
Yeah.
know. It's just like
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know, and I was questioning, I was doubting, and I was in my own head about a lot of things. I was really skeptical about a lot of things. I wanted my own understanding of everything. So I stepped away from the Christ like the
The
religious
Christian belief. Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
religious beliefs and stuff. But
Okay. Do you think this brought you back?
lately, yes, it has.
Yeah. Hmm.
I've been praying to Jesus, and I've been
Yeah.
praying to God, and like and well, I have this relationship with Jesus. I end up always going back to him every time I am like in a really hard spot in my life, when it's like one of the toughest times in my life. And you know my life, I've been through a
Yeah.
lot of it,
You
and
have.
every single tower moment, it always goes back to I pray to Jesus, and that's what's really helped me.
Has it?
And I feel every time I pray, I get down on my knees, I pray, I just feel this unconditional just love flow through me, and it's like hard to really explain, but you know, I really feel like he's there. You know, I feel like he's there. He feels my pain, and this is why he exists. You know, because
Yeah. Because you're not
he
alone to
feels
go
our
through it
pain.
alone. Yeah.
Mhm.
He died for our sins.
So.
He died for our, like, yeah. I believe in Jesus too, right? And so I'm
Mhm.
glad that you believe in something and you have something to hold on to because you don't have to be alone
Mhm.
through all that pain, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. And
How's
the
your grief
spirit of
been since?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Um, it's been good. Because yeah, like I was about to say, the spirit of Jesus really just is about love and compassion, and also self
Mhm.
love and compassion, and forgiveness and forgiving yourself, and all of
Yeah.
that really just ties in together. It's really beautiful what what he's taught and what he
Yeah.
came to earth to do. And I really
Yeah.
just live. I like to live by his teachings. I like to live by just knowing how much love he really had. He had that sacrificial love, and that's just,
Yes.
it's so beautiful.
And
So
it's an amazing
my
kind of love. I always tell my clients when you go to
mhm
heaven,
mhm
the unconditional love that you feel is like nothing you've ever felt before. And like people don't want to come back.
mhm
So I hope that gives you
yeah
solace. Like your
yeah
babies are in an amazing, amazing place with amazing
oh yeah
Jesus and God and animals and everything that's there, right? we suffer
Mhm.
here on earth, for sure,
Mhm.
right? Do you ever
Yeah.
question why you had such a hard road?
Yes, I question it all the time. I
Listening.
question
Yeah,
it all the time. I'm like, what's my purpose? Because,
yeah.
you know,
It's
I
been a
don't
rough
have the
one.
same, yeah.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I really don't, I really just feel like I'm here to just maybe spread hope because
Yeah.
I'm living through hard tribulations in my life and I still have hope and I still have
Do
love in
you?
my heart. And
Yeah.
yeah, totally. I have such a big zest for life. It's ridiculous. Like I
That's
love life
good.
so much.
And what people may not know, it's not even been a year yet, right? We're coming up on a year, what,
Mhm.
June 22nd, 21st?
21st.
June
Mhm.
21st, it'll be a year since all this happened, right?
Mhm. Yes.
That's
Um
beautiful, Liz.
but
But I want
something
to
that
take,
really
go ahead.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. I was just
No?
gonna say something that really helps with my grief and just my belief. Like what I believe in is knowing that my babies are with me. They're with me all the time. I know that they're not. They're never gone, and they're not
Never.
just. You know, they didn't
Yeah,
disappear. They're still with me. I have full faith in that. I feel like Remy sees them all the time. When he
I
looks
think
out,
so.
he
Yeah.
smiles by himself. You
Yeah.
know.
You're
Yeah.
right. I think they're going to be his guardian angels his whole entire life. Now that we're talking about Remy, like your hard life's not over, right? You've got,
No, no, yeah, it's
you've
not.
got, man, you had big cards dealt to you. So let's talk a little bit about Remy and what his status is now. So talk about Remy a little
Mhm.
bit. Aw, so
Okay.
beautiful, baby.
He is just so precious. He's such a miracle. He really is. He's not supposed to be alive today, for one. And
Mhm.
what's funny is that he was born 1 pound 11 ounces. 111. That's
Uh-uh.
crazy. Uh
That's a
huh.
magical number. Yes.
Yeah. Totally. It's kind of it just makes you go you know. So
Hmm. And then his
um
birthday,
he's
6/21/22. There's a lot of ones and twos in there too. So no, he's
yeah
magical. He's magical. He's meant to be
yeah.
here, and you were meant to birth him. Like
Mhm.
this is
Mhm.
all meant to happen. And I have a theory on the other two. And we'll
Mhm.
talk about that on the last segment because I really want to try to connect to them for you, if you don't mind. If that's okay with
Oh,
you.
I don't mind. Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I would love
I
to
think on
hear
the
from them.
I think on the last segment I'll try to connect and give you some message because I feel them because they're here and now and I just feel their little energy, their little firecracker energy. Girl, you would have had your hands full. Yeah. So
I know it. I already know. Remy is he's a spitfire himself. He's the
busy.
little feisty one. Yeah, he's so cute though.
Yeah.
So yeah, Remy, he was born 1 pound 11 ounces. He was in an incubator for like a month. We were in the NICU for 3 months. So
Wow.
our whole journey in the NICU was just like crazy because I was by his bedside every single day. I was always at the hospital every single day, and the army had discharged me, so I was able to be there. And
To be there.
I was staying at the Ronald McDonald House in Nashville by
Good.
myself, and I was just there for him, and I was seeing him every day. And but what was scary was that I would be watching the monitors and his oxygen and saturation levels would always be like dropping and the monitors would be like alarming and like almost like throughout the whole day. So it was scary all the time.
PTSD.
Yes, yes, seriously. I always thought
Oh,
he was going to die. I always
yeah.
thought something was going to happen. And yeah, it really comes down to I was praying, man. I was really just like every time that
On your
alarm
knees.
went off,
Yeah.
I was please, please God, like
Yeah. Not him too. Not him too, right?
no, yeah. So
He
that not just
survived.
only
Mhm.
yeah, he survived, but not just that, but he also had problems with his brain. They noticed they did
Okay.
ultrasounds on him and he was having like they called it a grade 4 IVH, which is like a brain bleed in his brain. So it was caused by the pregnancy when he lost oxygen to his brain. So that was an issue, and he was also having retinal detachment, and which was like almost gonna like cause him to go
Make him
blind. So
blind.
yeah, so
Wow.
that was scary. As soon as when he hit 5 pounds, and he got good with his breathing, they let him go home. And when we got home, we had to immediately be followed up by specialists, and so
Okay.
that's kind of been the whole thing
Your
after, is
whole
just
life,
being, yeah,
specialists
going
and
to
doctors
specialists. Mhm.
and procedures. He's had a couple of procedures, right, since he's been born.
Yes. So he's had a laser eye surgery, and
Oh,
he's also had another eye procedure where they had to take a deeper look at the blood flow through the veins in his eyes. And his eyes look good now. He can see. He doesn't have perfect vision, and he has a lazy eye, but he can see. So there's just one thing that's concerning us now, because he also has a thing called infantile spasms, and this is
mhm.
due to his grade 4 brain bleed. It caused him to have, they diagnosed him with cerebral palsy. So now he has, with that, infantile spasms and seizures. And we've been doing a treatment the past 4 weeks, taking steroids, and we just stopped, and now his seizures and spasms have stopped, but he
Have
still
they?
has
Okay.
like the rapid eye movement. He still has that, and they're gonna give him a medicine called Sabril, and it has a risk of losing your vision. So now it's like, that's just another thing on my plate. I have to give him medicine that could potentially cause him to go
Go
permanently
blind.
blind.
And that's for the seizures, though.
It's to help. It's
Oh,
to treat his seizures.
super. Yeah. Oh my gosh. How are you making it?
Mhm.
Have they given him a prognosis on life? Like, what do they say?
They said we really don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know
Okay.
how long he's gonna live. It's kind of just a day by day thing, where we're gonna be giving him treatments and medication and see how he does with it, and see, what we can do to just make him comfortable, and watch how he grows into these things. And
Okay.
as he's growing, we'll be
Just
able
love
to
him
kind of
through it.
determine. Yeah, love
Yeah.
him through it. Yeah.
Love him through it,
Yeah.
mama. Love him through it. He's special and he's in your life for a
Mhm.
reason, right?
Mhm.
He's like a little
That's all I
angel.
can do.
That's all you can do is just love him through it and
Mhm.
take in every single moment, right?
Mhm.
Oh,
Exactly. He's in my arms 24 hours of the day. I'm not even kidding. Like, he's just in my arms, sitting here. We're chilling all the time. Him not in my arms right now is like making me. That's why I have this. Is because I'm
because you're a
all
little
like,
fidgeting. Yes. We'll
yeah.
bring him on camera. We need to go on another break, talk to some of our sponsors. But when we come back, I want to talk about your healing journey, who you
Mhm.
blame, your relationship to God now, where you're going
Mhm.
now. So
Mhm.
you're watching Fullbright TV Network, The Soul's Journey, and we'll be right back after this.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like, it was almost instant. Like, I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
Hi, and welcome back to Bold Brave TV Network. You're watching The Soul's Journey with my special guest, Desiree Diaz, talking about her infant loss. And now she is raising a special needs child. So all at the ripe age of 25. Crazy. I want to take you back. I know we mentioned earlier, and I was just thinking about this on the break, how you have Remy now, and we're so blessed that he's here, right? Right?
Yes.
And you've had such a rough life handed to you. I mean, I could probably do 3 shows about you on different topics, right? We could probably go more.
Yeah.
And I think about you often. I really, really do. And I always think, you know what?
Oh.
For as much as she's been through, she has to be an angel here on earth. Like, I just feel it. Have you ever, it's crazy because you've been through so much and you're such a beautiful soul and you never let it make you bitter. And you, I don't know, there's just this beautiful piece about you. So I know you mentioned earlier, you've got to have a purpose for all this. I know, don't cry. I love you so much. And there is, and you're going to find a purpose for your pain. I promise you that. If I can say anything, it comes later, right? You've had a lot of lessons really early on in life, right? So I'm hoping 25 and over, those lessons are done and we've learned them and we have an amazing life after, right?
Oh yeah.
But
That's what I'm hoping for too.
That's what I'm hoping for too. I truly believe you're an angel on earth. Have you ever had an angel experience?
I have. So, I think I remember telling you about this a while ago that I had when we were doing our meditation stuff, and I went into meditation and I was in the shower. Something happened, and I really felt an angelic presence. And
Did you? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what happened now because it was just so long ago. But now I have that same presence always with me. You know what I mean? It's always been with me. And I always feel like I even have just kind of a team of a spirit team. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's I get this overwhelming feeling that I'm okay and that
it's gonna be okay.
I'm okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be okay. And I'm glad that they're there for you and that they make you feel that way. Remy chose you for a reason, right?
I truly believe it.
He chose you to be his mama. He chose you to go through this journey with. So I truly believe in that as well. And so we love him dearly and sending him so much love and support. And that I hope his life gets easier too, right? I hope.
Yes.
When this all happened, I know a lot of people, when they lose a child, that's probably the worst thing that can happen to probably anybody. I don't know. My one fear in life was losing a child. That's the one thing. Just don't die on me. Right? I don't know if I could handle that. So the fact that you handle it and overcome it and you've been strong, I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. It was really tough because when I was pregnant with them, I felt like I felt all of them. Like I was connected with them. I could feel all of them moving in their places. I knew who was moving. I knew which baby was which. Yeah, I could feel their energy. And just, when all that happened, I felt like all pieces of me were just missing. That's the only way I can explain losing my babies was just that parts of my heart were not in this world anymore.
Your heart shattered, and those pieces will never get put back together ever.
That emptiness. Yeah.
It's an emptiness in your heart. Yeah, it's definitely an emptiness. And so I encourage you, when it all happened, who did you get mad at? Who are you angry with? Because we all want to point fingers for our pain, right? We all have to have someone to blame. It's just natural part of the process. Who were you mad at?
I am my own worst enemy. I am my own worst self-critic, and I blamed myself. I put the blame on myself. I kept, looking back at my past, like, what did I do wrong? Or, like, what could I have done differently? Could I have been healthier? Could I have done something healthier? Could I have, I don't know, maybe went to the emergency room the day before when she told me to get the steroid shots. It was just little miniature things. I feel like I'm like a perfectionist sometimes where, something like, I just want to control something because in my head it will work out if it's in my control or something. So it's almost like I just put the blame on myself. Like, what did I do wrong? What was it me? Like, I was asking God, like, what did I do wrong? Like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, why couldn't I just have a healthy pregnancy? Why can't I just have healthy baby boys? I was excited to have all of them. I was excited to care for all of them. I was planning, I knew it was going to be hard having triplets, but I was still like excited. I was like going to make it work somehow, and I didn't know how, but I was going to do it.
Oh, baby. It's okay. Holding space for you, Mama. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's so tough. And that's all you have left are those memories of the what ifs, right?
Yeah. It's the what ifs. And I can't blame God. I can never blame God because I know God loves me. Everyone loves me, created everything. How can I blame God for something that, He's taking care of my babies in heaven? So, but it's just like, it was just, I don't know. I felt like it was almost something like selfish of me because I wanted them here or something, or maybe just there was a lot of contradicting thoughts that would go through my head. So
Sure. And that's our monkey brain talking, right? Trying to make sense of it all, right? It is. So
exactly.
I feel for you. I feel for you, Mama. What I feel, I keep getting this overwhelming message for you that you were meant to have Remy, right? And you're meant to go on this journey. And they gave you 3 at first because they know, like, I feel like they knew if you had individual pregnancies, it wouldn't have survived, right? But they needed to get you him. Does that make sense? So they gave you 3.
Yeah, me and my mom kind of were thinking, like, maybe if I had a regular, just standard pregnancy, I would have miscarried. Like,
and I don't know if you could have handled that, right? Because now you have something to live for. Let's talk about you and your mindset and just the trauma. Can you imagine just losing? Let's say you got pregnant, gave birth and lost. I don't know. You needed something to love. Does that make sense?
Exactly, I did. And before I got pregnant, I needed something to love because I wasn't in a good spot, to be honest. I was, I'm going to be honest, I was abusing alcohol. I was really deep down under, and I was getting in trouble for it. And Remy, my boy saved my life in the Army.
Thank you. You see? So if you think about it, he started as 1. He wasn't going to make it. So they split into 3 so that 1 could survive for you. That's what I would like to think. And that God did that for you. So although it's traumatic and heavy and hard, I think it's just kind of a blessing too. Right? You got Remy out of it. Instead of having a big hole. You have a hole, but it's just different. He was able to save you and give you that special love and unconditional love that you've been searching for all your life.
Exactly. Right? And he led me back to God, just connecting back to God. He led me to actually
get back
praying and,
so maybe he's the angel here on earth. Bigger.
He got me believing me something bigger than myself. Yes. So he really is a miracle.
That's what I believe too. I think he's a miracle too. I think that's exactly what you needed. I think he was brought here to save you. Like, who knows what would have happened. I know you, and there could have been some suicidal tendencies back in the day, probably. Yes.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
right? So if you would have lost just one, I don't know, it would have been
Mhm.
traumatic. So
Mhm.
I think he's here to save you. Okay.
I really
Yeah.
believe that too.
For that too.
That's just like honestly what keeps me going is him.
Good.
He keeps me going. He keeps me motivated and excited. So.
I have another belief too on kids who are born with cerebral palsy and all these kinds of issues, that they're really
Mhm.
angels too. And they chose this journey to help their mama
Mhm.
learn their lessons and to help their mom grow. So they
I
chose a
really
hard life on purpose. It's crazy.
exactly. I believe that their souls are just too beautiful for this world.
So beautiful.
Like.
Yeah. So they had to give up on some stuff on purpose
Mhm. Mhm.
to help save you. You know what I mean? Such a
Mhm.
beautiful, if we think about it, I know it hurts and it's traumatic and all the negatives, but if we think about life and God and the beauty of it, what is it
Mhm.
called? Uh, there's that saying, something about beauty. But anyway, there is some
Um.
beauty in it. What is it? You know what I'm talking about? There's
Mhm.
that movie with Will Smith.
Oh my gosh, I can't
Well,
even.
anyway, I know, but you know what I'm talking about, right? You know
Yes.
what I'm talking about, right? Okay, so
Uh
that's what I'm
huh.
saying. There's some beauty in it. If we just have to
Mhm.
change the perspective just a little bit, move the mindset just a little bit,
Exactly.
right? Because your babies
Exactly.
are an unconditional, beautiful amounts of love. And I'm going to talk to them
Mhm.
on the next segment because I
Also.
feel them swirling around. I feel them, and they have such different personalities. So
Oh,
I
I
can't
love
wait.
that.
I can't wait to share because it's going to be so cute. I have to know really quick. We have 30 seconds. How did you get
Okay.
the name Remy? Remy, tell me, how's the name Remy come
Um,
about?
Remy was just a name that kept coming up in every like list I would look at, and I was just like, I
Mhm.
really like that name. And then I looked up the name, and it's actually a name of an angel. But it's like
See?
the angel's name is Ramiel,
Uh huh.
Or Ramiel or
Ramiel,
something.
Ramiel,
So
I think. Yeah.
yeah,
Shut up.
so
See? It was meant to
yeah.
be. And on that note,
Mhm.
we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. You're watching Bull Break TV, The Soul's Journey with Desiree Diaz, and we'll be back.
Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. We discover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality? But it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating. Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
Like it was almost instant, like I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
And welcome back to Bull Break TV Network. You're watching The Soul's Journey with your host, Tracy Escobar, evidential medium. And I have my niece, Desiree Diaz, as my guest today, talking about infant loss and how she's raising now a special needs baby. And I have to say, I'm so excited about your life now. So we've got some happy things actually
Yes.
going on in life now. So we're almost on the
Mhm.
year mark when all this happened and your life got flipped upside down, right? But tell us what's going on now. So who's entered your life? Why are we smiling in pictures again?
Uh, so there is a boy or a
There's a
guy,
boy.
and
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he is. I think God brought us together. I was like, before I had met him, I was kind of talking to other people, but not really. Just didn't know what the connection really was with them, but they were talking to me, and then my stepdad at work, he goes to work and shows all his buddies pictures of me, and Taylor's his name, and
Is it?
he when he saw my picture, apparently he immediately was just like, I have to get to know her, I have to talk to her, like I have to meet
Oh,
her. So he found me on Facebook, he reached out to me, and we like got on our first date. We went on our first date, and ever since then we just immediately like sparked. Like I immediately like knew I was gonna marry this guy, and
wow, really?
I
Good for you.
and he like relayed that message back to me a little later as we were dating and stuff. But the issue is that he is leaving for the Navy. He's
Okay.
already at basic training and everything, and so we spent the last 3 months like really getting to know each other, spending a lot of time together, and he's just I feel like he's perfect for me, and he feels that way about me to him, and he asked me to
Yeah.
marry him. So
Congratulations. Oh, you see,
yeah,
and he loves
and he
Remy.
loves Remy. He
Loves
loves
Remy.
Remy.
I'm
He
so happy for you.
yes, I even have like a little like I don't know
Oh,
if you can't
you
even
can't
see
see
it,
it.
but
No.
it's him
Oh,
holding him. Yeah.
good. So God
He
really provided for you, put someone in your life.
yes,
Isn't
yes.
that crazy where you were at
I
a year
pray to
ago?
God.
Yeah.
Mhm. Because well, me and the baby's father, we were trying to work things out as I was in Nashville and stuff. We were
Mhm.
trying to kind of work something out where he could kind of co-parent or want to be in their life in Remy's life somehow, and he was just not, doing the right things, and I'm not going to get
Mhm.
into all of that, but it was just a red flag. I was
Flag.
like, I can't have this guy. He's toxic. I can't have him
Good,
in my life.
good for you.
Um he didn't care about Remy. He never like helped out with him.
Oh,
Like he never asked about him. He never It was all just about like me and like wanting to control me or something.
you.
So
Yeah. Well, I'm glad
mhm.
you could recognize that, and I'm glad you got away
Mhm.
from that, right? And then you found someone who can
Mhm.
respect you and love you and keep you safe and Remy safe, provide for you
Yes.
too, right?
Yes. Yes.
See what
Uh
see what can happen. I think it's really an interesting message though to tell people because a year ago you thought your life was over. Like this was crazy.
mhm.
Like life just got crazy and over, and through healing and through your connection to spirit and to God and to whatever it is that got you through that, now you're living on the other side of that and living a nice good life and found someone who loved you, and Remy's doing perfect, right? So how are you today with your grief? It
It
comes in
does
waves.
it comes in waves. It comes in waves. Sometimes I feel like I'm okay. I can talk about it and I'm not going to cry, but just like today I cried, and there's some things that still get to me, and there's some things I'll talk about that I haven't talked about, but it'll be brought up and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I haven't even processed that yet." So it's
Yeah.
like it's definitely takes some time, but just knowing that I'm going face to face with my emotions every single day, and just really like, being accountable for myself, and just making
Yeah.
sure that I'm okay, taking care of myself and making sure that I'm okay so I can be okay for
Good.
Remy, because that's all that matters.
All that matters. Right. I have a
Mhm.
message for you from them both. Okay. Before we have like 1 minute before we
Okay.
have to close the show. And I just want to tell
Okay.
you, Juno is he would have been your quiet dude, right? He likes to sit back and he just likes to kind of observe and watch. He's like quiet. He looks at his brothers like they're a little crazy because he's just the cool, calm, collected one, right? He loves animals.
Oh.
He's over there playing with all the animals. He's surrounded by the animals. He's the one that sends you the butterflies and stuff. So anytime you get butterflies or animals, I'm going to tell you that is going to be Juno. Now, Frodo, different kind of breed. He is like a little firecracker. He loves to learn. He is super smart. He's over there learning, and he wants to say, Mom, you have nothing to feel guilty about, and you have nothing to be afraid of, because I'm going to be one of your guides for the rest of your life. He's the protector. He's the fighter, right? And he had to go. He said, Mom, I had to go. I had to go take care of Juno. So I want you to know he didn't want his brother to be alone. Remy has you, and Juno has Frodo, right? Because they're two of the same kind of souls. So nothing to feel guilty of. They have each other in spirit, and you have Remy here, and you guys are meant to do big and beautiful things. All right. So I want to give you that, and I want to send you with love from them both. They watch over all the time, and I see you've seen butterflies. Yes.
Yes, butterflies are my symbol right now. They're everywhere.
Yeah, that's little baby Juno. He's a sweet, 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 sweet soul. So when you feel that calming soul, I want you to know that is Juno. When you feel that hyper, we got to get things done, that's more Frodo. He's like that.
I've been feeling these energies too, so that's interesting.
Yeah. So tap into it. Now that you know which energy belongs to who, you can talk to them freely, right? They do talk to Remy all the time. They are his brothers. They are here till the end together. And I just want to say how proud I am that you came on the show today. I love you, and I'm super, super proud of you. And I'm super proud of the mom you're becoming and everything in your life. And I hope and I pray and I hold space for you that it's a beautiful life from here on out. Okay?
Thank you so much. I love you.
I love you too. And you did a great thing. Hopefully you gave some people hope, healing, and empowerment, because that's what it's all about, right? Right?
Yes,
all right. Give Remy a big kiss. And to everybody out there, next week we are talking with Laura Hendricks again on sexual abuse trauma. So you won't want to miss next week as well. Thank you for joining, and you're watching The Soul's Journey on World Brave TV Network. We'll see you next time. Talk to you
soon. This has been The Soul's Journey with your host, Tracy Escobar. Tune in each week and be inspired through the voices of those living the journey and those who have already passed on. Fridays, 5 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV Network.